Welcome to Squeeze. This week we joined Sommerset on their tour of Europe, where they played 50 shows in 9 countries over March and April. Sommerset are one of New Zealand's hardest touring bands, and their strong DIY ethic has helped them achieve a great deal without the help of a record contract. Since they formed 7 years ago, the Auckland group have had numerous album, vinyl and EP releases, toured New Zealand a number of times, and also found themselves in Australia, Europe, Canada, the US and Asia, gaining loyal fans the world over.
The attraction of touring, as a person, it's fun because you drop a lot of these responsibilities that you've got in everyday life.
Touring is really great because you don't have to work.
It's quite routine, really. It's almost like being in the army or something. You get up and you drive in this van and you get to a venue and you play.
You always find out by the time you finish the whole tour and you come back home and play to people that have already seen you, and they comment, "Oh man, you guys are so much better than last time I saw you," or whatever. That's what's reassuring, in knowing that you've made a significant change in what you've done over all that time in touring. So that's what I think it totally attracts me to touring, is just being better players, better musicians.
The way we go about things, I think essentially it's because we don't know any other way.
For us, it's more like we just play some music that we like and we want to play some shows. Stephen's been like that way for a long time. He just wants to put on some shows, just want to do a tour, just want to put out an album.
I think the difference maybe between us and the way some other people have done it is, yeah, like Jay was saying, we just get in there and do it. We're lucky that the people in the band have been willing to do that. You know, like so many people will be like, "Oh, I've got these other things in my life, I can't go off and do this." I guess we haven't given too many other people outside our band a say on what we should do. You know, like I think a lot of bands are like too worried about things from the outside. We just kind of a little bit introverted with that, and we just got up and done it.
I think it was a really good idea to do the second video as a live video.
It definitely portrayed, our shows and our style pretty well.
Us and some friends having some fun playing a show.
That's what I wanted anyway, was just to capture everything that's good about one of our shows.
All right, thank you. This next song is called Connor.
Tell you anything you feel. Don't let them tell you what
broken up by a little jaunt in Hanover with some chips.
What do we order next?
We go to Aachen, where it's a festival with a lot of bands. We've come from quite far east Germany to really damn far west Germany. Aachen's pretty much on the border of the Netherlands. Aachen, or Aachen Rock City, as our friends over there call it, is, in my opinion, not that special a city by itself. It's like a lot of those mid-sized cities that are in Germany. But the people there are very good to us. That's where our German label's based.
Rockstar Records consists of Dennis, Timo, Mario, and Christoph.
I admire what they've managed to do in Aachen because a lot of these cities the size of Aachen in Germany have no real rock show culture and they have no real punk rock culture going. It's just a few fragmented things, but the way they've managed to generate a record label, and Rockstar is almost more than that. It's like a cooperative.
I'm going to sing this next song out to...
So it's like playing in a city that has a good, strong tradition of underground punk rock, basically.
Matthias and all the other guys. This is where we got our start in Germany, so this comes for you.
Mr. Boring in Aachen because I wasn't too well at that stage, so I was quite happy not to party on. But there was a lot of photo taking, a lot of falling over.
That's one level we get on with them very well. We had this kind of pact that we weren't really going to drink that much when we first got there, and it just flew out the window that night, eh?
We're a small way into Austria. We're going to pass through the mountains into the north of Italy, and then we're going to go to Milan eventually.
All real familiar.
We know this street.
Yeah.
This is that massive big roundabout, eh? Or maybe go straight ahead. No, go straight ahead. It's over there, dude.
Just driving into Milan is pretty intense. They're crazy drivers, and it's a pretty old city, so it's pretty hard to get around. So you get lost, and then you find something, and you go, "Wow, we're here again." I remember this place.
Okay, it's
Just been driving around Milano.
Corrado owns.
I think we're a little bit lost. It's not easy to find the street names, and frankly we don't have a very good map. But it's a nice enough city to want to drive around anyway, but we are pretty hungry.
It'd be good once we taste the lights of Milano. We haven't eaten yet. It's now late, and we need some food. But we found that we're going to go now, so.
We ended up eating at a really nice mom and pop shop kind of Italian restaurant.
I'm in Europe, there's lots of different cultures here. I want to see something else, and Milan is definitely a culture shock. Though the Milan we saw that day it's quite an unusual Milan because it was a peace protest. these streets were flooded with God knows how many thousands of people were waving these peace or pace flags, you know. And this was just before the war broke out, as I remember. So it was it was a really quite a serious time, and it's nice to see that here's a culture that really is up in arms about something that they feel strongly about.
How far will we march for peace?
How much longer can we walk? Never stop walking.
You know, we marched down the streets while we really loved, peace. We had those flags draped, a fist raised in the air. I was very against war at that time.
March on, brothers. March on.
If we're talking about that whole sort of community-run thing that exists in Aachen, I mean it's tenfold in Milan, and I guess the rest of Italy, But in Milan, everything's cooperative. The venue was a squat, and it was an amazing building.
We turned up at the squat, and it was massive. We were thinking, how are we possibly going to fill this place out? It was huge from the outside. And Stefan went out of a car to find out all the details, and then basically we found out that the band we were playing with was the Wu-Tang Clan.
Cash
Take
rules
you on a
everything
national
around me.
joint.
Cream, get the money.
Here we go.
Dollar
Check
bill,
this shit.
yo.
Yeah, I grew up on the crime side, the New York Times side.
I didn't believe them. And then we walked into the venue, and it's enormous. It holds 8,000 people. So that venue was happening upstairs. We were, playing downstairs.
So that was unreal. That was like chalk and cheese in the way of a band lineup, but in the end it turned out to be awesome. I couldn't fault that night at all. We played a really good show, and the Wu-Tang were awesome, and it was a cool thing to see after you just played a show.
It's €4 to get in.
Yeah,
to see.
It's like 10 New Zealand bucks to see Sommerset and Morton.
I don't really know what's going to happen tonight in Milan. I mean, tonight should be good. I mean, the room we're playing in sounds vicious, and my drums sound like a monster. So, a monster.
It's bound to be a good show, I think, because there's going to be, 9,000 people apparently upstairs. Last year when we did Milan, it was one of my favourite shows, and today is quite reminiscent of last year as well, because it's the same atmosphere, dark and dingy, but I think that adds to it. I think it adds to the excitement.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's go to school.
To just kind of making every show better. I mean, that's what I've been kind of trying to do, is escalate my playing, so far. And if I've had a shit night, then try to critique myself into making myself play better the next night. So I mean, I look forward to every show, really, And I had kind of dawned to me, you're on a bad show, it's the first week, and you're like, I've got another 40 to go to try to make it better. So maybe one of these shows will be really wicked.
We've got a run of 15 shows non-stop coming up. It's been pretty cruisy pace up until now, but 15 shows in a row, that's over 2 weeks worth of shows, non-stop.
After an eventful stay in Milan, all the boys were looking forward to hitting the Czech Republic in a couple of days. But before they reached Prague, an unexpected tour highlight awaited the band in the small town of Passau, Germany.
I think the highlights of those little shows, you think they're going to be really bad, they just turn out to be the best.
Passau just jumped out and grabbed us, really. Small town, didn't really expect too much.
When people asked me what were the best shows, that was one of them. Because it was such a surprise. Walked in this tiny little cave of a room and the sound was pretty bad, and you know, it was the middle of the weekend, no one knew was going to come, and the people that came were just so enthusiastic.
Getting drunk with everyone out in Passau was pretty fun. Ryan getting his shirt off, standing up at the table and telling them the Summers are here to party. It was pretty good. We got some photo proof of that shit.
My God, when we got there, the sound was like the worst thing I'd ever heard, and it was kind of apparent that no one knew how to work the PA.
We turned up to the venue later, and piles of people were turning up, and it was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, that's what I love, is those surprises of this tiny little show that looks like it could end up being pure shit, and it turned out to be one of the, you know, in the earliest part of it, one of the fondest memories and one of the most exciting shows, and one of the first times we felt like, yeah, people are really getting into it.
Nolan was crowd surfing on top of these kids, and he's like pretty much nose and chest are touching the roof, you know. I don't even know how he's strung.
I was maybe about 10 centimetres away from the roof, like being held up by about 40 people.
If you're a big Sommerset fan, stay there, because coming up we've got a rare video from their debut self-titled EP.
You know, when we released our first EP, a lot of people got really excited about this song called Sommerset.
And we needed a bunch of people to come and dance in the supermarket. Oh, who the hell is going to come? And a lot of people came. It was a lot of fun.
It captures that moment when we were this underground band just starting up, and we had this good song that got people excited.
Weeks ago, Sommerset played their first gig back home at the Classic in Auckland. No rest for the wicked though, as this week they leave our shores once again, this time for their 8th Australian tour. After Aussie, Sommerset will return home to finish writing their next album, which they plan to record by the end of the year.